There's a particular kind of mental quicksand that disguises itself as preparation. The endless stream of what-if scenarios that your mind generates, each one more catastrophic than the last, keeping you trapped in imaginary futures filled with problems that haven't happened yet. What most people don't understand about catastrophic thinking is that it's not actually about the future. It's about your mind's attempt to create certainty in an uncertain world. Your brain, designed to keep you safe, treats uncertainty as a threat and responds by generating elaborate worst-case scenarios under the illusion that if you can imagine every possible disaster, you can somehow prepare for or prevent them. But this mental preparation rarely leads to useful planning. Instead, it creates anxiety about problems that exist only in your imagination. This what-if spiral typically begins with a single uncertainty. Maybe you're waiting for test results, starting a new job, or facing a difficult conversation. Your mind, uncomfortable with not knowing how things will unfold, begins generating possibilities. What if it's bad news? What if I fail? What if they reject me? Each scenario spawns additional catastrophes until you're mentally living through elaborate disaster sequences that feel emotionally real, despite being completely imaginary. The pattern becomes particularly insidious because it feels productive and responsible. You convince yourself that worrying about worst-case scenarios is good planning, that anticipating problems shows maturity and foresight. But there's a crucial difference between practical preparation and catastrophic rumination. Useful planning involves identifying realistic challenges and developing concrete responses. Catastrophic thinking involves creating elaborate disaster scenarios and then emotionally experiencing them as if they were actually happening. The hidden cost of living in perpetual what-if mode extends far beyond just feeling anxious about the future. When you spend mental energy experiencing imaginary problems, you rob yourself of presence and peace in the current moment. You might be physically safe and comfortable, but your nervous system is responding to threats that exist only in your mind. This chronic state of imaginary emergency exhausts your emotional resources and makes it harder to handle actual challenges when they do arise. This pattern also becomes self-fulfilling in subtle ways. When you're constantly anticipating disaster, you approach opportunities and relationships from a defensive position that can actually create the problems you're trying to avoid. Your anxiety about rejection might make you withdraw from connections. Your fear of failure might cause you to avoid risks that could lead to growth. Your worry about criticism might prevent you from expressing your authentic thoughts and feelings. Living in constant anticipation of catastrophe also disconnects you from your natural resilience and problem-solving abilities. When you're focused on imaginary disasters, you forget all the times you've successfully navigated unexpected challenges, adapted to changing circumstances, or discovered that problems weren't as bad as you initially feared. The what-if mind erases evidence of your competence and focuses exclusively on potential vulnerabilities. There's a profound truth about anxiety that changes everything once you grasp it. Most of what you worry about never happens. And when challenges do arise, they rarely unfold the way your anxious mind predicted. Your catastrophic scenarios are not prophetic visions. They're creative fiction generated by a nervous system that confuses possibility with probability, that treats remote chances as inevitable outcomes. This recognition reveals that the suffering you experience from what-if thinking is entirely optional. You're not responding to actual problems, but to mental movies about problems that may never exist. The emotional distress is real, but its cause is imaginary. Understanding this distinction opens the possibility of a completely different relationship with uncertainty, one based on presence rather than prediction, trust rather than terror. The key insight is that uncertainty itself isn't dangerous. Your relationship to uncertainty is what creates suffering. You can learn to be comfortable with not knowing how things will unfold, to trust your ability to handle whatever actually comes rather than trying to mentally rehearse every possible challenge. This isn't about being naive or unprepared. It's about distinguishing between realistic planning and anxiety-driven imagination. Begin by catching what-if thoughts in real time and recognizing them as mental events rather than urgent problems requiring immediate attention. When you notice your mind spinning catastrophic scenarios, pause and remind yourself, this is my mind generating possibilities, not predicting certainties. This simple recognition creates space between you and the anxious thoughts, reducing their emotional impact. Practice distinguishing between productive planning and unproductive worrying by asking yourself, is this thought leading to concrete action I can take right now? Or is it creating anxiety about something outside my current control? Useful thoughts generate actionable steps. Catastrophic thinking creates emotional suffering without practical solutions. When you identify the latter, consciously redirect your attention to what's actually happening in the present moment. Develop a daily practice of grounding yourself in current reality rather than imaginary futures. This might involve focusing on physical sensations, feeling your feet on the floor, noticing your breath, observing your immediate environment. When your mind tries to pull you into what-if scenarios, return attention to what's actually here now. Your body, your surroundings, the real circumstances of this moment, rather than feared circumstances of imaginary moments. Challenge catastrophic predictions by examining the actual evidence rather than accepting worst-case scenarios as likely outcomes. Ask yourself, how often have my worst fears actually materialized? When challenges have arisen, how have I typically handled them? What evidence supports this catastrophic prediction versus what evidence contradicts it? This reality checking helps your rational mind regain influence over your anxious imagination. As you begin to practice these interventions consistently, something remarkable happens to your relationship with uncertainty. The compulsive need to know exactly how everything will unfold begins to relax. You develop what might be called uncertainty tolerance, the ability to be okay with not knowing while trusting your capacity to respond wisely to whatever actually emerges. Your nervous system starts to distinguish between real threats requiring immediate attention and imaginary threats generated by anxious thinking. You stop wasting emotional energy on problems that don't exist and become more available for addressing challenges that are actually present. Your decision-making improves because you're responding to current realities rather than feared possibilities. The mental space previously occupied by catastrophic scenarios becomes available for creativity, connection, and presence. Instead of rehearsing disasters, you can engage fully with what's actually happening in your life right now. You begin to trust that you don't need to have everything figured out in advance to navigate life successfully. You develop genuine confidence. Not the brittle kind that depends on controlling outcomes, but the resilient kind that comes from trusting your ability to adapt and respond to whatever unfolds. You remember times when unexpected challenges led to growth, when things you feared turned out fine, when your resilience surprised you. This evidence-based confidence replaces anxiety-based catastrophizing. Most importantly, You learn to live in partnership with uncertainty rather than at war with it. You recognize that not knowing what will happen isn't a problem to be solved, but a condition to be accepted as part of being human. The future will unfold as it will, regardless of how much mental energy you spend trying to predict and prevent every possible difficulty. This shift doesn't make you careless or unprepared. It makes you more skillfully prepared. You can take reasonable precautions and make thoughtful plans without needing to mentally experience every disaster your imagination can create. You become someone who prepares practically but lives peacefully, who plans wisely but doesn't suffer unnecessarily about uncertainties beyond your control. The freedom that emerges isn't freedom from ever facing challenges, but freedom from creating additional suffering through catastrophic imagination. Problems will still arise in life, but they'll be real problems requiring real solutions rather than imaginary disasters requiring endless mental rehearsal. So, if something in this message speaks to your own experience of being trapped in what-if spirals that create suffering about imaginary problems, leave a comment with the word present. Let it be a commitment to redirecting your mental energy from feared futures to actual reality, from catastrophic imagination to grounded presence. And if these words feel like the practical guidance you've been seeking for breaking free from anxiety about things that haven't happened, subscribe. There's more here for you, not about controlling the future or eliminating uncertainty, but about developing a peaceful relationship with not knowing, trusting your resilience to handle whatever actually comes, and remembering that this moment is the only one that actually requires your attention.